Every developer dreams of becoming a senior, yet many don't get to that level or find it really challenging. And I don't want you to be in that position. Whether you're preparing for a senior role or are just a few years away, so I want to teach you 5 things that every developer must do to get to senior level. So let's get started. The minute you become a senior developer, or even before that, you need to understand that you are in a leadership position now. Now, your work is going to influence the company, and the scope at which you will do things will be massive because it's going to impact the entire company. You need to make sure that you understand the impact that you're creating by being in a senior position. The decisions that you make will not just impact your team, but will potentially also impact other teams as well. So the code you write, the systems you design, you need to take into account the goals of the company as you start getting into a senior role. So you need to remember that you need to understand how to become a leader more so than just a manager. You need to understand how you can become a leader and learn what it takes to become a leader. Now, you are not a manager, you will not have direct reports, but you are a leader and people will look up to you for direction. So it's really important that you know the impact of your position. So start looking into how you can become a leader, how you can grow and mentor others and coach them to becoming future you as well. Hey friends, time for a quick break. I wanted to quickly cover that I also write a weekly newsletter that I think you will really benefit from. Now, I share tips such as how you can level up in your career, and that's just part of my weekly newsletter in general. But on top of that, you will also learn something new because I share a code snippet and I explain the architecture decisions in some of the implementations of scaling systems and so on. So if you're interested, please subscribe at frontendsnacks.dev or click the link in the description below. I really hope you will enjoy it. You need to start weighing your decisions and the impact your decisions will have on the company as you get into a senior position. You need to start accounting into meeting time and how you can be more productive managing your time as a senior developer. How can you delegate more? How can you save time more? Should all be on your mind as you become a senior dev. Now, there will always be something or some piece of code or some feature that only you can do, and this is a great opportunity for you to go and train others to do it, write documentation for it, so that the time that you invest now will free up in the future and you will have a lot more time for other impactful things in the company. But you need to start weighing the benefits of your decisions and how it can impact the future as well. For example, if you make a specific decision that will only help you short term but not the company long term, then you need to assess if that's something that you need to do and if that's necessary. Don't just focus on the task at hand, but also optimize the future work for yourself as well. So, for example, if you have been asked by a product manager to implement a specific feature, you need to start thinking about how the architecture of that feature would look like and something that can be done right now, as well as thinking about it for the future so that you can add features on top of it, but also that system can scale really well as well. So all the decisions would be taken by you, and obviously you're not doing it all on your own because you will need to take in feedback from other developers as well. But you need to weigh in the pros and cons of each of your decisions because they will have a huge impact right now. You need to take full ownership of the work that you're doing, and also any of the work that you have done. You also need to take ownership of all the work that the developers have been working on the feature that you own as well. So for example, if you cannot just say that it's your work and not their work, and if they do something then it's not your responsibility. You need to make sure that you are taking full ownership of the work. So even if there are bugs along the way or if features don't work as expected, then you need to take accountability for it and figure out a plan and a strategy to figure out the unknowns in your system that you have designed alongside other developers. Now, for example, a feature is not necessarily done until it goes fully into production and you know exactly how that feature works. It has been properly tested and QA'd, and you are keeping an eye on monitoring the system as well, so that that specific feature doesn't cause any problems for your app or the product that you're building in general. So, for example, if you're running experiments frequently, then make sure you have a really good system to design those experiments, and so that you also have a way to add and remove code easily, so that if your code stays, that it scales really well. But if the code needs to be removed because it's just an experiment and an experiment can fail, then in that case, you also have a system built in for that. So you need to account for that, and this is just an example of it. But you need to take full ownership of all the work that you are doing, directly or indirectly, as you get into a senior position. The job of a senior is to make sure that you plan for the unexpected scenarios. Always assume that features will be done in more time rather than less time, and always make sure that you add buffer to any of your estimates that you are working on. Because again, unexpected things can happen. But always assume that you have less time, because if you do have more time, then it's a bonus. But strategizing for less time will always give you more ways to optimize your code and really focus on things that are really important for your team and for your company. But your job as a senior developer is to plan for the unexpected and start weighing the pros and cons of the risks that you are taking. So, for example, every decision that you make is essentially a risk, and you need to weigh the pros and cons of that specific risk decision that you are making. So, for example, if you think the decision is more risky, or if the feature in general is at risk of not getting delivered, you need to unlock that feature by working on the most riskiest items first, creating a strategy for it so you know that you're planning for the unexpected. No one likes surprises, especially coming from a senior. You need to understand how things are done so you have a good strategy for it. So always make sure that you're planning for the unexpected. Now, these are just a few things that are basically preventing you from becoming a senior engineer. Make sure that you follow some of these, and let me know what are some things that you do or have done in the past to get to senior developer, or what your aspirations are in general in the comments below. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please comment and subscribe to my channel. Bye for now.